Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Daytona International Speedway. We're glad you're with us for the start of the 2007 Winstel Cup Series season. We're live from Daytona International Speedway for the first of 20 races here for the Winstel Cup Series. It all begins at the World Center of Racing. 45 cars set to take part in a historic field for a historic race. Only suiting to get things started with the biggest race of the season here tonight. We're glad you're with us for Winstel on ABN. I'm Carmen, Sienna. We're so glad you can spend your Sunday evening with us here tonight. A lot of new faces. A pretty bolstered rookie class mingling in with some Winstel Cup Series veterans. A wild week leading into the race coming up here tonight. We have the duels that were broadcasted yesterday. There was a last chance qualifier this evening as well to fill out the rest of that 45 car field. Now everyone's going through qualifying one final time to set the official grid for the Great American Race here in Daytona. Qualifying underway at the moment. We're glad you're with us for every part of it here. A lot of times getting ready to be posted on the board here. You see that up at the top of your screen. Right now, currently Tyler Murray is the fastest on the racetrack, but that is going to change quickly. And now, watching on board, this is with Kirk Marble, the 09. Lap speed's going to be here. Kirk Marble across the line. This is starting a lap here for Kirk Marble. 24 set lap times so far. 45 drivers set to take part in everything going on here tonight. Marble out of turn 4. See what his lap time looks like. And a few more cars on the racetrack now as well, completing their qualifying lap time. Marble goes 23rd fastest. Look at Stavila. From front row to Evernham goes the Argentine. He is on the racetrack here looking for a good time. Remember, this is a team that won the Daytona 500 a season ago. Brendan McGee behind the wheel when he grabbed victory there. Across the line for Davila. Goes 25th fastest. Brandon McKissick behind the wheel of the 42. Left time he can put down here. Across the line, 180.12. That was McKissick in 29th place at the moment. Corey Steinhauser in the 77 on the racetrack as well. We've seen 35 set lap times. Steinhauser was on an out lap there, will not complete a qualifying lap time. And that'll put all of that to bed. Full qualifying results on your screen right now. And it is the defending Daytona 500 winner, Brendan McGee, that qualifies on the front row, trying to go back-to-back here in Daytona. Tyler Murray will line up alongside on the front row, hopefully not replicating what happened to the 07 car in 2007 here at the Great American Race. Gabriel Mauricio will be in row number 2 here tonight. Alongside him, one of the rookies, the highest placed rookie in the qualifying order, James Grantham in 4th in that 47 car, Colin Keister in 5th. He was impressive, extremely impressive in the duels last night. He'll be alongside Anthony Krovac, Ryan Daly, Alex Bates, Josh Chen, and Chris Champeau round out your top 10 here in qualifying. Full top 5, full top 10. You'll look at your full field at the bottom of your screen here. Great look at what these cars are going to look like here at Daytona. We already went through your top 10, your first 5 rows here. A mix of all 4 manufacturers here. Chevrolet, Ford, Dodge, and Toyota for the first time on the track here in the Winstel Cup Series. And then we look beyond a little bit further back here. This is starting with row 6, Christian Budd, former champion of the series, alongside teammate Craig Lautenschlager. Matthew Molnar in 13th place alongside series rookie Bryce Saucier, making his first Cup Series start. He's a 2-time Winstel 400 starter. He'll start ahead of a very familiar face to him, Christina Ryan, who moves over to Red Bull Racing for the 2007 season in the number 84 car tonight, looking at her in row number 8. On the outside of Christina Ryan is Brandon Cruz. Cruz will line up ahead of another set of rookies here. That's Zach Tyndall and Lucas Strayer. Dylan Roberts and Larry Pace, they make up row number 10. Teammates there for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. They both will need to try to surge to the front of the field here tonight. Corey Cook and Sean Peleg will make up row 11 for Hendrick Motorsports. Ryan Moyer in the 31 car will start in 23rd alongside Kirk Marble in row 12. Evan Locke from Team Penske over to Richard Childress Racing. He starts in row 13. He starts alongside 26th place qualifier Lucas Davila we saw on the racetrack earlier. Tom Wetmore starting in 27th alongside Brandon Coppinger. Brandon McKissick and Nick Doucette make up row 15, sorting alongside each other there. Nick Doucette from Hendrick Motorsports over to DEI to fill in number 15, vacated by Emily Howe. Andy Trupiano in row 16 alongside Tom Willett. And then you have the number 10 car, one of the Ray Abraham cars. That is Steve Brown alongside the second Red Bull Racing car of Kyle Benson. TJ Crampton will be in 35th place. That is row 18 that he's on the inside of. He's alongside Jose Solis Jr., who does not have the correct paint scheme on at the moment. We'll see if we can get that rectified. Emily Howe behind Parker Alexander and alongside Ryan Hill in row 19. Row 20 will be Ryan Hill and Philip Snipes to make up your top 40. Your final page of entries on the grid. Evan Melanson, Corey Steinhauser, Ken Huff, Hayden Repa, and Rory Collins will round out this field of 45 cars. A stacked Winstel field for the Daytona 500. And everyone is ready to go for 60 laps here at the World Center of Racing. Some of the live chats here. Obviously fantastic work here, Tyler Head, reproducing and recreating the 2007 Fox ticker that we're using here tonight. So a huge shout out to Tyler Head here as well. Everyone ready for tonight's race? We are as well. We're glad you're with us here. A lot of action ready to roll here at the Daytona International Speedway. As we mentioned, 45 cars and 60 laps is no small feat here tonight. It is Brennan McGee on the front row alongside Tyler Murray, Dodge and Chevrolet, Evernham Motorsports, and Richard Childress Racing to lead us to green for the start of the 2007 Winstel Cup Series season. Pace car will take the left-hand turn down to pit lane. And the first race of the season is underway. Green flag flies here at Daytona. First lap complete here at the World Center of Racing. Gabriel Mauricio, winner of this race 2 years ago, led lap number 1. Not to be outdone, Colin Keister, the number 30. And the Rick Rare Racing number 30 goes to the front here. He's ahead of McGee at the moment. See the 18 there, that is Anthony Kroback. Third in line on the bottom. Tyler Murray sucking himself to the bottom of the racetrack. Very bumpy surface, very loose race cars, very hot track surface here. These cars are going to be dancing around a lot. Everyone figuring things out throughout this race, expecting 2 pit stops in this event pretty easily. But you will have to start holding on to this car pretty tight as that run goes along. It will chew up the right side tires like no other. McGee trying to get around to lead a lap here. Keister led lap 2. Everyone dancing around the racetrack here. Keister will lead lap 2. Or sorry, lap 3. That's 2 laps left for Keister. Really good so far at the front of the field. Then the inside lane, McGee on the outside lane. We talk about this track being bumpy, and it's no exaggeration at all as to how bumpy this racetrack can be. First onboard of the night will go to former ABN World Champion Christina Ryan. Running on the outside lane here, you're going to see how bumpy this track is through the corners of patchwork there in turn 1. And just see the undulations as the car rivets up and down off the asphalt. 3 wide as possible. No one feeling brave enough to do that at the moment. And that says something. There's 45 cars. A lot of drivers eager to make some moves happen. Not eager enough to make a risky move this early. McGee will lead lap 5. But it's still even Stevens at the front of the field. Keister gets the advantage through turns 1 and 2 there and gets clear. Does he shovel up the racetrack? He does not. Tries to keep it lower. And he might just. But the outside lane has more effort behind it, more energy, more cars. Shortest way around versus the fastest way around. Seems like a paradox, but the outside lane is oftentimes a little bit quicker because the momentum you can generate in a pack. You spend a little more time at full throttle, you generate momentum. And stock cars, these 3,400-pound machines, momentum is a huge factor. Otherwise, it would just be hold the yellow line and don't let go. A bit of separation at the moment. '47 of James Grantham not really getting able to get to the rear of Mauricio's number 5. Seems like he's struggling just a little bit in that 47 machine. Keister led that lap. That 30 car was really impressive in the duels we saw last night. The duels were extremely impressive. The 30 car looked phenomenal throughout. Remember, this is a one-off entry for Rick Rare Racing. Obviously, Keister trying to race the full season in this season. In real life, it was a one-off for Rick Rare Racing. Colin Keister doing a fantastic job. Has never raced in Winstel before. Did not do the Winstel 400 this year. Has never done a Winstel event up until tonight. Him and Grantham, the top 2 rookies so far at the moment, have put themselves on a pretty phenomenal map. Tyler Murray in the top 5 as well, that 07, that Jack Daniels machine. And the 41, another rookie, Lucas Strayer. Taking over that Chip Ganassi Racing Target Dodge. See the 22 car, Chris Champeau in the 22. Jacob Potak moved to replace Nick Doucette in the 24, but not present here tonight. We'll start one race in the hole as we head to Fontana next Sunday. So he'll have to try to defend his crown with a little bit more pressure. McGee led that lap. We do have one car off the pace. That is Corey Steinhauser. He is on his lonesome at the moment. Last car attached to the pack is Rory Collins in 44th at the moment. That BAM Racing Dodge. Hanging on to the 58 of Hayden Rapa. And then Ken Huff there in the 14 car. The Haas CNC machine. And then you're going to see, just ahead of him, Brandon Cruz. Work our way up through the field here. Ryan Hill sitting in the 40th spot. Emily Howe did not qualify well and has stayed largely in the back of the field here. One of the several heavy hitters in the back of the field at the moment. Qualified 36th and has not moved forward at all. Riding on board here with the 55. Instead of trying to move forward, you see the gridlock up ahead. There's Brandon Cruz going by. You see there's not a lot of room to maneuver here. Try to protect your car instead and see what you can do later on. But as we mentioned, 60 laps, not a lot of time here at Daytona. Make things pretty difficult. There's the 29. We do have the 29 scheme. Good old Pennzoil Chevrolet. It wasn't in the graphic, but it is on the racetrack. solace in 30th place. High standards if he wants to try to recreate 2007 to a dot. He's never won here in Winstel at Daytona. Looking to change that. But he's right now got to work through 29 other cars to make that happen. Pretty big check up there further up the road. That was the 6. I had a little bit of a check up there. Tom Willett in that AAA Ford Fusion. Still lockstep. You've not missed anything at the front of the field here. McGee and Keister still front and center. McGee gets a full car length advantage through the tri-oval with help from Mauricio. The 25 has moved forward. It's Corey Cook. That 25 car has been often the forgotten car for the Hendrick Motorsports stable. Corey Cook in that car right now, driving it forward. He's behind a teammate with Mauricio there in the 5. Gotta be wondering, is this the year the 25 car breaks through? The rotation of drivers in that 25 car. Alex Bates, Jonathan Hernandez, and now Corey Cook, the most recent driver for Hendrick Motorsports in that GMAC machine. Keister leads this lap, and the 9 and the 30 have traded laps almost every lap here. Laps led by Brendan McKee. He's led 9 of the 14 completed so far. So most laps led currently belongs to Ray Abraham Motorsports. Colin Keister, though, keeping the challenge on. Again, 45 cars, 44 in the pack. You got one car off the lead pack, and that is Corey Steinhauser. Concern is going to be here when we pull the track map up. That's where Steinhauser is, that 77, that dot in turns 3 and 4. That's where he's at compared to the rest of the field, and the rest of the field all clumped together are running a lot faster at the moment. Can't put in comparison at the moment. Steinhauser is running 49.4 second laps. The field at large running 46 second laps. So 3 seconds the difference. Pretty big deal. In trouble. Crash behind. First caution of the season at large, and it's a big one, 3 and 4. Lautenschlager, Bates, Tyndall, Coppinger, and others involved. That is the 10, Steve Brown with some damage. Christian Budd, center of your screen with damage. The 00 with damage. Alex Bates, as we mentioned before, he's part of that list. That bails out Corey Steinhauser. But several cars involved with some significant damage. The 45, Coppinger, one of those on the list. Ryan Hill, Brandon Cruz, all went through the grass here. We'll see if they got damage here when we get a replay. And this is a look from the replay, and it starts between, it looks like the two Toyotas there. That was Kyle Benson and Alex Bates who get into it. And we'll have to get a better angle here. And we're going to back it up here one more time. And give it a look. Looks like Kyle Benson bounces off that City Ford. Clips him again there, but bounces off of that 90 machine into Alex Bates, and they both go into the fence, and everyone scrambles trying to avoid it. Davila gets clipped by Solis. Lautenschläger gets turned by Evan Locke. Gets turned into the 06. And you see that is the 45 going for a wild ride. That is Brandon Coppinger going for a absolutely wild ride. Climbed over the 00. And everyone comes to a slow stop. We get right on board here with Alex Bates. Thought he got clear with it. Got hit by Coppinger. And Coppinger just goes up and over him. That's the 8 of Dylan Roberts going through the grass. Ryan Hill through the grass. Brandon Cruz near the arm go there in the grass. 11 cars involved in the opening caution here tonight. And it does allow everyone to make their first pit stops of the evening. And you see Christian Budd, one of those coming out of the pit lane now. Down in the 35th position. Hayden Ripa and Brandon Cruz stayed out. They will come down pit lane, I believe, at the end of this lap and cycle to the back of the field. Indeed they do. And that will hand the lead over to Gabriel Mauricio. So new race leader in the number 5 machine. It will be Mauricio and Froback front and center. Single file restarts here in the Winstel Cup Series. Putting all 45 cars nose to tail as Kyle Benson stays on lead lap getting some repair work done in that 83 car. And while we're at it here, we'll do a little bit of promotional work. We got some races coming up here over the next few days. Tomorrow night it is the HTL Cup Series at Homestead Miami Speedway. 2 races to go in the season to crown a champion there for HTL. The next ARCS High Octane race also at Homestead Miami. That is on Saturday, next Saturday at 8 p.m. right here on Twitch. And then you'll see the next Winstel Cup Series race next Sunday as well. We go cross country from Daytona to Fontana, California for the second race of the Winstel Cup Series season. It's going to be a lot of fun seeing these cars rip around Fontana. 2-mile racetrack with more lanes than you need. But they'll use all of them. So you can catch us on all 3 of those days. We'll be right here on Twitch here for ABN Studios. Mauricio, Proback, Marble, Keister, McGee, your top 5. And the green flag flies. Away we go. Running on horde here with Brennan McGee as he follows the 30 that he's battled with for so long in the opening stanza of this race. Inside lane being led here by Anthony Kroback. Gabriel Mauricio on the outside lane being helped by the 09, Kirk Marble. Pretty good group of drivers at the front of the field here. Mauricio, Kroback, Marble, Keister, Cook in the 25, McGee, Christina Ryan in that 84 car outside lane alongside McGee. In good company at the moment. Tyler Murray in the 07, Josh Chen in the 60 in that No Fear car. And Chris Champeau, the 22, in the top 10. A couple more rookies there, the 41, Lucas Strayer and James Grantham in 11th and 12th. Matthew Molnar, another rookie, in 13th place. And then you have Nick Doucette rolling around in that 15 car as well. See everyone dancing around. Whoa, a little bit of trouble there. That is Anthony Kroback dancing around a little bit. And now he's been put middle 3. Not a great place to be. He gets bailed out by the 47 of Grantham. But that was almost guaranteed to be ugly. A little bit of latency there. That is Josh Chen, the 60 car that you're seeing kind of fade in and out. And that'll be cause for concern, but I think Kroback's at a point now where he's not pushing nearly as hard. Moves to the outside lane. Try to get that car back under control as the Hendrick Motorsports teammates run the bottom of the racetrack, the 25 and the 5. Corey Cook working behind Gabriel Mauricio. It is Kirk Marble and Christina Ryan on the outside lane. As they go down the back straightaway towards turn 3 and 4. Concerns here for Josh Chen. Officials may ask him to move out of the way of the field if it continues to get worse. Mauricio leads that lap, but not by much. Here comes his teammate, and trouble further back. Caution out for the second time. Saucier, among others. Coppinger clobbers into Trupiano late on. Out of the tri-oval. Our second caution of the day. Saucier, Crampton, Melanson, Collins, Trupiano, Coppinger, and more involved in this second caution. As they all went dancing around out of the tri-oval and across the pit exit. A little bit of damage there. You see the 66 of Melanson. A little more damage, more significant for Trupiano. Brandon Coppinger, you saw him clobber this 06 car. His day is over. You see the smoke billowing out of that 45 machine, that Wells Fargo Dodge Charger. And there's trouble for Zach Tyndall as well. That checker is number 28. So let's take a look at what happened here. And if we can, in slow motion. It starts, I believe, with the 11. If we can find Bryce Saucier. And indeed it does. We'll have to back it up here. And it looks like it actually starts a little bit ahead of Saucier here. This is the blimp cam. It starts with Matthew Molnar. And I believe that's the 31 of Ryan Moyer that get collected in this. We'll use our rewind tool to back it up here. It is 31 of Ryan Moyer and the 90 of Matthew Molnar. And the chopper cam, I think, will be a little bit closer. So ABN quarter speed here. Looks like just a little bit of a checkup here. 7 rows in. That's James Grantham, the 47, ahead of Matthew Molnar. Molnar gets a good run, but doesn't have anywhere to go with it. And the accordion begins. Doesn't affect Molnar too awful bad. It does affect Ryan Moyer, who gets hit by the 15 and Nick Doucette. And you see everyone else go for a spin as well. And everyone else gets collected there. And you see the amount of cars here. Over a dozen cars. Closer to 18 cars involved in this wreck in full. As you go back to full speed. That's painful. Bryce Saucier, despite being a pretty big part of the early portion of this crash, it's relatively unscathed, all things considered, in full time. Some had it worse than others. Ryan Moyer gets away pretty well with minimal damage, a little bit of damage to the back of the car, but that's fixable. But a list of drivers in pit lane for some extended repairs. And in fact, you want to talk about extended repairs, there was 18 drivers on pit lane taking some extended repairs there. Not a good omen, I would have to say. See if we can get an onboard here. It looks like we've got another couple onboards here. Let's see if we can get one synced up here. Brandon Cruz is going to be the one of conversation here. He looks like he might have had a pretty close encounter. Give it a second to get that lined up here if we got it. And here we go. This is on board with Cruz. And we'll go full speed. Huge accident in front of him, and it just keeps adding up. Thread the needle. Emily Howe there. Evan Melanson involved. And it just doesn't stop the 20. But the Home Depot Chevrolet makes it through. As a result, Brandon Cruz doing a pretty decent job. Started this race down the order a little bit. Has been as low as 43rd. We caught up with him early on in this race. He was down at the back of the field. He is now sitting in the 18th spot. He is in the top 20 ahead of Jose Solis Jr. The race leader, though, for the first time in Penske colors, Philip Snipes in that blue deuce. At the front of the field has been as low as 41st and now sits up at the front of the field. Brennan McGee sits in second place. He has led the most laps so far in this race so far. Tyler Murray, not far behind in that 07 machine, has not spent a lot of time out of the top 10. He sits third for this upcoming restart. Kirk Marble and Gabriel Mauricio, your top 5 here. Back at the top 5, bottom of your screen as we get ready to go racing. We are close to the halfway here in Daytona. Top 5 looking pretty good. Some heavy hitters in that top 5. Former teammates at the front of the field. Chris Champeau, Corey Cook, Lucas Strayer, Christina Ryan, and Josh Chen Running out your top 10 here in the Daytona 500. Matthew Molnar, James Grantham, Colin Keister, Anthony Krobach, and Steve Brown, your top 15. And your top 20 earmarked by Brandon McKissick, Lucas Davila, Brandon Cruz, Jose Solis Jr., and the 72 car, Ryan Daly. Green flag flies, and away we go. Second restart of the night. Snipes first time at the front of the field here at Daytona. Seeing his car dance around in a different way that he's not used to. Need to adjust quick. Here comes Josh Chen. Josh Chen in the 60. Outside lane, 3 wide. Mauricio in the middle. Does anyone go with Chen? Proven race winner. Left on the outside lane. Do you go with the Daytona 500 winner? That is Tyler Murray below the yellow line. He got help. And he will merge in front of Solis. And Josh Chen in the fence. Off the back of Kirk Marble. Saves it. But they got to get around him. Still in the fence, and there's damage. Josh Chen was trying to make some magic happen. And he gets fenced for it. And will drop back quickly. You're seeing the positions continue to just fall away. 35th place, 36th, 37th coming up. That's Ken Huff. Heartbreak. They are moving forward at a breakneck pace at the moment. Outside lane now is the 25 of Corey Cook. He's trying to get around Kirk Marble in the 09. And Lucas Strayer in the 41. 3 wide in the second row as well. That's the 2 of Snipes. Dropping back to Corey Cook, who flips the safer barrier. And now they got to avoid the 25 car as well. Close call there for the 10 and the 17. But now back to double file. 2 for 2 on the third lane, burning out. And burning out aggressively. An indicator that you do not want to be up there right now. Coming to 28 laps to go. Mauricio leads, the Brazilian, trying to control both lanes. Keister on the outside lane, Christina Ryan on the inside lane with help from McGee. Keister, first official Winstel start, trying to look for a win on debut. Christina Ryan, 5-year veteran of the Winstel Cup Series, looking for her first win in the Winstel Cup Series. Mauricio looking to win his second Daytona 500. Same with Brandon McGee. Lucas Strayer, another debutant, looking to play spoiler here in the Great American Race. No stranger in that 22 car, Chris Champeau, veteran of the series. Same with the 2 of Philip Snipes. Matthew Molnar, not a debutant, but a series rookie. He has been in the Winstel 400 before. He has a resume in Winstel, and he's in the top 10 here. Anthony Krobach, he's got experience. He's a veteran of several years. Keep an eye on Happy Jose Solis Jr. in the top 10 in that 29 car that is so famous with this race from 07. Behind Jose is Brandon McKissick. And that 42 machine, that Texaco Havoline Dodge. Chip Ganassi Racing's got some goers here. The 41 and the 42 in contention here early. A little bit of damage on that 09 of Kirk Marble from that contact with Josh Chen. Dropping it back out of the way, Davila. He wanted no part of what was shaping up here. He feels the vibes are off. He thinks there's another accident coming, and possibly Solis got loose. Lap traffic coming up. Ryan Hill is the car coming up in front of the lead pack. And he is not far away. Hayden Raithbach coming down the pit lane. And you see on your screen the track map. As they come across lap traffic, Ryan Hill goes down below the yellow line, gets out of bounds and out of the way. All 45 cars that started this event still circulating here at Daytona. Brandon Coppinger, the furthest one down the order, 45th, multiple laps down, rejoining the racetrack here in 45th, but he is still running. Colin Keister leads lap 36 for Colin Keister. And the 3 wide behind, that's the 41 of Strayer. The 41 and the 30 both had to race their way in through the duels yesterday. It was survival of the fastest in those Gatorade duels, and they're proving that they're not only the fastest of the non-locked-in cars, but the fastest in the field so far. Strayer cleared himself off the nose of Philip Snipes, still put 3 wide there. Christina Ryan in the middle, trying to hold on to third. Keister, Mauricio gets loose. Christina Ryan has to jump to the outside lane. And the sardine can gets a little bit harder to squeeze through. A little more physicality. Caution's out. Caution is out. Parker Alexander and the 44 involved. More cars involved. That is the 72, the 66, the 99. That's Ryan Daly, Craig Lautenslager, Evan Melanson, and Parker Alexander all involved there. It looks like potentially Kyle Benson, the 83, also involved. Tom Willett, looks like the 6 car may also have a piece of this. Third caution of the Daytona 500. And Ryan Hill will be the free pass recipient. He will get back on the lead lap in that wounded number 7 Jim Beam machine. Let's take a look. This is further back. It starts further forward, and I would have to assume it starts potentially with the 6, Tom Willett. It does. It actually starts with Brandon Cruz and Tom Willett here. Cruz got tagged by Tyler Murray. Nowhere for Evan Melanson to go in that 66 machine. And he's going to get hit hard here by the 99 of Craig Lautenslager. Nowhere for Ryan Daly to go. Good save, it looks like, for the most part, for the 20. Kyle Benson gets clipped by Tyler Murray. And that is up and over for Kyle Benson. That Red Bull machine almost flips completely. Instead, dances on the driver's side door and lands back on 4 wheels in a pretty serious fashion. Look at that at real speed from the spotter cam. It comes at you fast. Benson thinks he's got it cleared and gets clipped from behind, and the concern about suspension damage now exists with several drivers, with Melanson, with Benson, with Murray, with Willett. So extended time on pit lane, I think, incoming for several drivers here. And that's not where you want to be. Top 35 in points from last season, locked in for the first 4 races. After that, it's a rolling counter. The top 35 going into each race after that. And that starts with having a good run at Daytona. You want to try to posture yourself with a good position here in Daytona. The better result you can get, the more it helps you out. Cars on the pit lane. You see Parker Alexander, who spun, but didn't have a lot of damage in that 44 machine. Kyle Benson with some extended repair work being done here, it looks like. Not seeing a ton of damage, though, although this is the side that was not hit. This is the side that was hit. It was not the side that Benson spun around on. We don't have a good look at that angle. Lanson with some damage. 77, that's Corey Steinhauser. He's in pit lane for some repairs. Same with Ken Huff. Everyone from Tyler Murray all the way back here. Some repair work to be done. And our ticker has broke. Love that. I'll have to give that another go. Bear with us. Oh, never mind, it did fix itself. But we're already refreshing it, so. Whoopsie. There's 20 left to go here in the Winstel 400. Here's how things stand at the moment. Hayden Rapa will come down pit lane. You see him already below the yellow line. He's going to come down pit lane and shuffle to the back of the field. We'll be Colin Kieser leading the field to green ahead of Chris Champeau, Matthew Molnar, Brennan McGee, and Gabriel Mauricio, your top 5. With 20 laps to go. It'll be 19 to go when we go green. Christina Ryan, top 10, along with James Grantham, Larry Pace, and the number 1 car. Have not said his name up until right now, but he's made his way into the top 10 from the 09, now driven by Kirk Marble, to the 1 car. Doing pretty well so far. He's got teammate help as well. The 15 of Nick Doucette right behind him. Anthony Krobach in the top 10 as well for Joe Gibbs Racing. There's Kirk Marble, 11th, alongside Brandon McKissick, Tom Wetmore, Christian Budd, and Steve Brown, making up your top 15 at the moment. Lucas Strayer, Dylan Roberts, Alex Bates, Evan Locke, Jose Solis Jr., your top 20. Philip Snipes, Ryan Moyer, TJ Crampton, Lucas Davila, Corey Cook in your top 25. Rory Collins, Brandon Cruz, Tyler Murray, Tom Willett, Sean Peleg, your top 30. Emily Howe, Corey Steinhauser, Evan Melanson, Bryce Saucier, Parker Alexander. They are outside the top 30. Some big names here. Peleg, Howe, and Saucier in particular. Surprised with how low they are in this running order here. Not a lot of time left in this race either, as you see the shuffling going on here throughout the field. Hayden Repo will drop to the back of the field here as well. Brendan Coppinger well off the lead lap here, but all 45 cars still circulating here at Daytona as we get ready to go back racing. Pace car is in. Colin Keister in the 30 car leads the field to green. We're back underway. Keister got thrown out to the dry. Down the sucker hole he goes. Some people are thinking a little bit more about the end of this race. Chris Champeau in the 22 car moves to the front. Brandon McKissick drops down. Trouble for him. He slides back up the racetrack. Something amiss in that 42 car, and they're going to have to try to dance around him into turn 1. Scary moment there, but he recovers. Unfortunately for him, he is now down in the 38th position. Not a great place to be. He's going to lose more spots here. There might be something seriously wrong with the 42 car. Out of the top 40 now. Oh, they're dancing. Dancing heavily. And they're wrecking behind. Christian Budd involved. Still spinning. That is Cruz. Started bouncing off each other pretty hard here. Have to see what happened with Christian Budd there. Dylan Roberts with a lot of damage. The 8 machine with some damage. And we will slow it down. This from the spotter stand. Bouncing off each other. That is Wetmore and Keister. Solis gets loose. So does the 10 of Steve Brown. Christian Budd tries to avoid hitting Tom Wetmore and comes across the nose of Larry Pace and into the 18 of Anthony Kroback. And Larry Pace gets clobbered by Dylan Roberts, his teammate there, and Roberts gets hit by Ryan Moyer in the accordion. Could have been a lot worse. The field was not tightly strung together. They had spread out on that restart. So it was only a group of about 24 cars in that lead pack. Everyone else had a little bit of room to spare when they arrived on that accident scene. Still not a great place to be. And back to real pictures, live action. As cars come down pit lane, Christian Budd, unsurprisingly, part of that group. Brennan McGee leads the way. 4th caution of the night. Coming to 15 laps to go. Banner Cruz reporting that he has been in everything, and it feels like it. That 20 car has been a little bit all over the map. Had a little bit of a pirouette spin on this 4th caution. Minimal damage, though, to the 20 car, which is best case scenario. Again, appreciate everyone tuning in. This is the 2007 Daytona 500 for the Winstel Cup Series. First race of the season. Still have 45 cars circulating here at Daytona. 44 on the lead lap. Top 5, bottom of your screen. McGee, Mauricio, Champeau, Bryan, and Doucette, your top 5. Matthew Mulliner, Colin Keister, Tom Wetmore, Jose Solis Jr., and Kirk Marble, your top 10. And scroll down further, you got Lucas Strayer, James Grantham, Philip Snipes, Steve Brown, Ryan Moyer, your top 15. Alex Bates, Lucas Davila, Corey Cook, TJ Crampton, and Brandon Cruz, your top 20. Sam Millette, Sean Pellig, Emily Howe, Corey Steinhauser, and Evan Melanson in your top 25. Bryce Saucier, Parker Alexander, Craig Lautenslager, Brandon McKissick, and Rory Collins. As it looks like reshuffling going on there, Collins and Benson will move up into the top 30 here. Tripiano and Daly outside the top 30, trying to make their way in. Dylan Roberts with some damage. Tyler Murray with some damage. Hayden Rapa will have to work through some of this near the back of the field here. He's in 35th. Brandon McKissick, Larry Pace, Ken Huff, Anthony Kroback, Zach Tyndall. Your top 40, and then your last row of 5, Josh Chen, Evan Locke, Christian Budd, Ryan Hill, and Brandon Coppinger. Brandon Coppinger several laps down. 9 laps down as we approach 14 laps to go under caution here for the 4th time tonight. We appreciate everyone being with us here for the start of the Winstel Cup Series season. The fastest lap times up on the screen at the moment. It has been a pretty blistering pace when we've been able to see the green flag fly. Low 45-second laps here for the fastest cars in the field. Minor, we got some more work coming in. Tomorrow night, H2O Cup Series from host of Miami, 8:15 p.m. Eastern, right here on Twitch for ABN. And then we have action next weekend as well, Saturday and Sunday. We'll be going coast to coast for the Arcs High Octane Series at Homestead. And then for Winstel, we'll be going all the way to Fontana, California on next Sunday's broadcast schedule. Hope to see you all for all of it. Stock Car Racing lives and breathes on ABN. Pace car is in. Green flag flies. 4th restart of the night. 13 laps to go. But 8 lead the way. Keep an eye on the 29 car, that red and yellow Pennzoil machine. This Willis Jr., he is in the top 10, well and truly. So is Kirk Marble. And Lucas Strayer in 11th, waiting to pounce. Brendan McGee leads the way on the outside lane. Chris Champeau in the 22 on the inside lane. As they dance around, McGee leads with 12 laps to go. But it's close margins into turn 1. 2 by 2, 4 rows deep. Outside lane has the momentum, has the numbers behind it. Only 4 in that group on the inside lane. Strayer abandons, makes it 3 on the inside lane. Champeau, Doucette, and Wetmore. And now the cavalry arrives. Solis, outside lane on his own, trying to surge forward. Does anyone bite and get up there with him? 09 of Marble is up there. Christina Ryan stays middle. Mauricio thinking about covering both lanes. Solis, no legitimate help from Marble in this factor. They have not gotten linked up together. That is just side draft 101. He is stalled out a little bit here as the field tightens up, coming to 10 laps to go. Champeau leads the inside lane still. McGee in the middle. Solis up top. Slim pickings in that outer lane, though. Solis almost in the fence. Kirk Marble's had some time in that fence today. Not seeing a lot of lane jumping, though. No one jumping from lane to lane. McGee not trying to play both lanes. He's staying pretty well in the middle of the racetrack with Mauricio behind him. A lot of trust there as Coppinger on the apron, out of the way, not a factor. A lot of trust between the two Daytona 500 winners from the last two seasons. They are in the middle lane. Keep an eye on the 9 and the 5. Those are your last two Daytona 500 winners. Do we see someone new win the 500? Look at that. Solis and Keister, the 29 to 30 outside lane. Solis has got help, and he's gotten to the front. Car limping around. That is Christian Budd on the bottom of the racetrack. Everyone circulating, waiting for the crash that almost happened there. Contact between Strayer and Moyer. Both of them had to race their way in to be in this position. They are now flirting with the top 10. 3 wide, 4 rows. And the laps count down. 8 to go right now, coming to 7 to go. Solis got to the bottom, got in front of Champeau. But the inside lane has been the dead lane. Keister, McGee, 2 of the most laps led belong to those 2. Solis, no help, detached from Champeau. Contact, Ryan, into the fence with McKissick, and they bounce and they crash. Huge crash with 7 to go. Enormous crash. Enormous for our tech as well. Wondered when this would pop up. 45 cars struggling. This was the big one. Over 25 cars involved. Ugly crash there. Colin Keister at the front of the field. Wondered how badly it was going to pan out. You see the damage on the 84. Joining the club of many. Late in this race. Everyone trying to sort out where they're supposed to be on the racetrack here. Here's a look at the replay. Everyone just bouncing off each other here. That is Champeau bouncing off of Christina Ryan. And we'll back it up here because they bounce off each other a couple times. Champeau just comes off the apron there a little bit, clips the yellow line, slides up the racetrack. Christina Ryan's a little loose. They bounce off each other, the 2 Toyotas. Ryan bounces into the 42 of McKissick, puts Both of them in the fence together. They both bounce off the fence, off the concrete, into the path, the 25 of Corey Cook. Champeau gets collected. Nick Doucette gets collected. Sean Pellig gets very close to being completely slobbered in there. I think gets away with most of it there. Dylan Roberts gets a piece of it. Davila, and this is where our technology begins to falter. You see so many cars involved. All the smoke on the front straightaway. But you get the idea. Track completely blocked, and it doesn't stop. Josh Chen, Bryce Saucier, Corey Steinhauser, Chris Champeau, among others. That's 28 is Zach Tyndall. Hayden Repa goes through the grass. And epilepsy warning for those that need it. Not quite the fun time for the field here. Over 25 cars involved in some way, shape, or form. And it's very apparent. Only 21 cars on the racetrack here. A lot of drivers needing some extended repairs. Goes all the way down to Brandon Cruz. Those on the racetrack at the moment. Colin Keister leads the way as the laps tick down. And a lot of people have work to do. It is game over and day done for Brandon Coppinger. He is classified in the 45th in final position, unable to gain any track position with less than 10 laps to go. He was 9 laps down when the caution came out. His day effectively over. He has pulled it behind the wall. His day is done. Matthew Molnar in pit lane. Kyle Benson, his day is effectively done. If Matthew Molnar can get himself rolling, he will take over the 43rd position, excuse me. So we will have 2 retirements here, and both those retirements coming in the last 7 laps here in the Daytona 500. I'm expecting we will see quite a few more before this race is in conclusion. We'll be seeing the green flag with 4 laps to go. So let's set the stage. Let's set the table for this 4-lap dash. Colin Keister, the rookie, the debutant in the 30 for the Rick Rare Racing number 30, sits at the front of the field. He has led a hefty chunk of this race. 13 laps led for the rookie in his debut race, and Winstel leads the way. Brennan McGee, most laps led tonight so far. That's undisputed. 23 of 55 laps so far completed that he has been out front, trying to go back-to-back here in the Daytona 500. We'll see if he can do that. He's in a pretty good spot. Kirk Marble, 1 lap led, but he's been out front. He has been consistent. Not often we get to say his name. We have said his name often tonight, and he's going to be a factor in how this race plays out. Happy Jose Solis Jr. is feeling a little bit happier than what he was at the start of this race. He started this race on the back 9. He is in the top 5 right now in 4th. He has also led just 1 lap. Did not get the inside lane going the way he wanted to. Lesson learned for this upcoming restart. Gabriel Mauricio, the Brazilian, former Daytona 500 winner as well, 11 laps led, showing his experience here at Daytona. Last time he won, he was in the Silver Bullet, the number 40. He spent the last couple seasons in that number 5 for Hendrick Motorsports. Can Car 5 go from 5th on this restart to win once again at the Great American Race? We'll find out. Also in the top 10, Nick Doucette, Sean Pellig, Tom Wetmore, Lucas Strayer, and Andy Trupiano. As we get ready for this restart, the green flag flies, and away we go. 4 laps to go, 10 miles. Immediately, you saw the 9 go to the outside lane. Everyone leaving the rookie high and dry. Now's the time to make your move here in the Daytona 500. Mauricio goes to the bottom, 3 wide, all behind Kirk Marble. He's keeping Jose Solis Jr. behind him. He's going to try to play all 3 lanes from top to bottom out of turn 4. 3 wide for the lead. McGee leads at the line. 3 to go. Car loose. Strayer. Strayer saves it. Still trying to save it and keep it safe. He does. Great job for Strayer. Obviously doesn't help him out at the moment, but it does help the rest of the field. Car on the bottom of the racetrack, that was Kyle Benson. Back on the racetrack. We still are only at 1 retirement in this race. Solis leads the way. McGee on the inside lane. It's a group of 7. And everyone else separated. 2 to go at the line. McGee leads. Keister in support. Solis on the outside lane. Support from Doucette. 200 cars in this top 7. To the 5 and the 48. Sean Pelle clipped the wall there a little bit, got loose. It's going to allow Emily Howe and company a chance to get into the conversation. Emily Howe in that 55 car. From Chevrolet to Toyota. In the top 10, trying to surge forward. McGee leads Keister. With Kirk Marble in 3rd. Keister goes to the outside. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go in the Great American Race. And keep an eye on that line of cars coming. Emily Howe with the full head of steam. Support from the 32 at TJ Crampton. They're door-to-door out of 2. Heavy push from Kirk Marble to Brennan McGee. Crashes further back. We focus on the lead. We focus on the battle for the win. It's a debutante and 2 former winners of this race. Side by side, 3 wide, almost 4 wide. Hendrick cars on the bottom. 3 by 3 as they come to the line. It's going to be the debutante. Colin Keister wins at Daytona. They crash behind, but the debutante wins the opening race of the season. Heavy support from Jose Solis Jr. And the 30 car races his way into the field and races to the checkered flag to win the Daytona 500. What a race. No green-white checkers needed in the Winstel Cup Series. Under green. And Colin Keister will get to celebrate on the Daytona grass. First race, first win. And your points leader all in one go. If you didn't know who he was, you know Colin Keister now. And that's exactly what he does. Burnouts on the Daytona grass. Well earned. Well earned. He led 15 of 60 laps tonight. He led a quarter of the race. And he parks on the start-finish line. Absolutely insane. We have an ad break coming up here for those watching live on Twitch. So we are going to step aside. We are not going to start interviews until after that ad break is over. So stay with us. We'll talk to our podium finishers here after this ad break. We're going to go ahead and jump that forward early, and we'll talk to our winners after this ad break. 2 minutes. Welcome back, everyone, to Daytona International Speedway for post-race coverage of the Winstel racing season underway. The 2007 Daytona 500 completed, and it is a rookie, a debutant, Colin Keister, that wins the Great American Race. His first race in Winstel is a victory after being a thrilling factor of the duels yesterday. He gets to win here tonight. Let's go ahead and go over the full running order here in this race. 45 cars in this event. Huge talking points. And there you go. Colin Keister wins tonight. Chevrolet is first and second. Jose Solis Jr. in second place, almost replicating what Kevin Harvick did in that 29 car back in 2007 when he won this race. Brennan McGee could not go back-to-back. We'll have to settle for a third place here at Daytona. Another former Daytona 500 winner, Gabriel Mauricios, finishes fourth ahead of Kirk Marble, Sean Pellig, Philip Snipes, Emily Howe, TJ Crampton, and Anthony Krobach make up a very exciting and very topsy-turvy top 10 here in Daytona. Evan Melanson in 11th place. That's what the doctor ordered. He needs more results like this, though. Still needs to race his way in across the next three races and get those top 35 points results to lock himself in to not have to worry about pre-qualifying. But good result here. Good first step for Melanson, Tyler Murray, and Brandon Cruz, top 13 for them. James Grantham, not quite so fortunate compared to his fellow Rookie of the Year contender, but 14th place, not a bad effort for the 47 car. Josh Chin in the 60 finishes tonight top 15 after being put in the wall twice tonight. Evan Locke in 16th place ahead of Andy Trupiano, Tom Wetmore, Rolly Collins, and Steve Brown round out your top 20 here tonight. Again, 45 cars in this field. We'll talk to our podium finishers after this. Nick Doucette, Christina Ryan, Ryan Daly, Bryce Saucier, Lucas Strayer, Chris Champeau, Larry Pace, Lucas Davila, Tom Willett, and Ken Huff make up your top 30. All of them on the lead lap here. Ryan Hale, Corey Steinhauser, Zach Tyndall, Alex Bates, Brandon McKissick, Corey Cook, Dylan Roberts, Hayden Repa. They were all in the lead lap. Christian Budd, Craig Lautenslager, not so much for them. Neither was the case for Parker Alexander, Matthew Molnar, Kyle Benson, Ryan Moyer, or Brandon Coppinger. Only 3 retirements in this race at the end, and that would be Matthew Molnar, Ryan Moyer, and Brandon Coppinger. That being said, outstanding run of form here. So let's go ahead and talk to our third place finisher here. We'll start bottom to top in the podium order. Brennan McGee, so close to a back-to-back Daytona 500 victory. Most laps led tonight. Walk us through it. That was a wild race, and it ended with no need for the point of no return.
No, it's going to be still a few laps at the end, but it's definitely a handful hanging on to it up front, that was for sure. But definitely a solid start to the season, I should say. Wish I could have won it again, but, doesn't always pan out that way. But I think most of the field had fun out there tonight. It was definitely hard to drive, especially when it was 3 wide. I think a lot of us were almost half throttle a few points throughout the corners just so we wouldn't wreck each other at the front. And Jose almost got the win like the real 2007 race, but he didn't quite make it there.
Obviously, a wild race here. 45 cars. Up until less than 10 laps to go, we had 44 on the lead lap. It shows how robust this series is, top to bottom here. Obviously, a lot of drivers having to race their way into the field. It felt like everyone kind of knew what was going on here. Obviously, there was concerns with how loose this race car was. How would the racing turn out here? A couple of big accidents late on. Pretty par for the course, though. What was it like in that 9 car, though? Because you had the luxury of spending most of it up near the front of the field tonight.
I knew better than to go midfield on back, because once you did, it was very hard to get yourself. Well, it wasn't super difficult to get back up to the front, but it was a challenge, and a lot more of the stack ups and all that happened from 15th on back, right? So I qualified up front, stayed there, and I did what I need to do.
Obviously, Winstel season back underway in full swing. 2007, a very popular season. We get to do the split cars here, the Gen 7 and the car tomorrow coming up here in a not too distant future. Excitement coming up, obviously palpable. You can feel it in the community here. Obviously, 80 entries kind of shows the popularity in this. Starting off on the right foot, though, once again at Daytona, how important is it carrying that momentum, knowing not only how important it is to be top 35 in points, but how important it is having that momentum on your hand going into Fontana next week, where it's going to be very, very much more momentum based racing, trying to pick your lanes, pick your fights, and stay at the front as much as you can.
I enjoy Fontana. It's a good track, so hopefully things play out there. I mean, I'm not going to fight for the win there, just going to be honest, but hopefully I'm at a top 15. But anybody that let's be honest, the top 35 resets in another 4 weeks, right? So we have 3 more races of the 2005 top 35, and then it moves on to 2007. So just having one good finish under your belt can almost guarantee you, not quite, but almost guarantee you that you're going to be top 35 in the points reset after the Las Vegas race, because in 2 weeks we have the first car tomorrow race at Bristol. So that should be a new challenge for everybody. The fall off there is crazy. It's definitely going to be a very tough setup to handle. And next week is Auto Club, and that has never failed to put on a good show. So that should be fun. You can use all 5 lanes there. So should be fun. We already have the setup done for that one.
Obviously, we leave Daytona and we keep the party going here. A wild race here for you. Obviously, a huge team behind Winstel to kind of get this all up and going. A lot of work goes into this. Before we let you go, and obviously let you join the other Winstel staff members and kind of debriefing over this race, if you want to shout and say thank you, to the floor is yours. Congratulations on another phenomenal performance here at Daytona. Winning last year, P3 here tonight. As we roll on to Fontana, a lot of momentum behind that 9 car again.
I'm just going to say, I know super speedways are a lot of luck, but there's some drivers that always find their way towards the front at the end. But of course, thank you to you for broadcasting, Bud for doing all the paint schemes, a lot of the admin work, the other admins for helping out, Tyler Head for making the ticker. A lot of things make this go together, of course, at the end of the day. So it's a lot of fun.
A fantastic job for Brennan McGee. 3rd place here in that Evernham Motorsports number 9. We'll see him again next week in Fontana. Brennan, congratulations.
Thank you.
And we will go ahead and move along. 2nd place finisher here, Jose Solis Jr. So close to doing what the 29 car did back in 2007. 1 spot shy, 2nd place. Started this race near the very back of the field, had to climb your way forward. Jose, walk us through it. You had one of the wildest rides tonight.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't even know how I finished second there because, like, I started in the back. I was just kind of chilling for a while and then kind of slowly made my way up to the top 10 because they kept crashing, like, big in front of me. And then, like, I went to the top lane. When the last runs there, I just went up to the top 5. I just kind of stayed there. And then, yeah, I just kind of ended up second somehow.
And as I mentioned, hardest charger throughout the field from 43rd, your lowest spot, to 2nd place is a wild case. Even in 60 laps, still takes a lot of effort to do that. You talk about, you see sort of the eye of the storm around you at several points tonight here. Daytona's typically not been kind to you. That changes course here tonight. You get a 2nd place finish, one of your best results here in Winstel at the World Center of Racing here. A far cry from what it was last season, where it felt like it was just downhill from the get-go. How much does a good result like here at Daytona help you out as far as getting the season started on the right note? You were almost out of the top 35 this time last season. Now you're almost guaranteed to be top 35 no matter what happens the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I think it'll help me a lot because I remember, like, right at the end of last season, I was pretty close to making in the chase. I just needed like 1 or 2 races to have like good runs to the bad runs. So I think, yeah, definitely having a really strong start like this will be a pretty big help for the momentum for like the start of the season and for trying to make it into the chase.
Obviously a big effort there. Missed out by just by 11 points, I believe, last season on making the chase here. And this race was one of those that you could kind of circle from last season. Obviously, a lot of conversation about this season, running both the Gen 4 and the car tomorrow. We know how much of a wheelman you are in being able to drive just about anything you're put into here. What's the sort of vibe going through the 29 camp about being in that car tomorrow in 2 weeks, racing at Bristol in that car tomorrow, on top of racing at Fontana next week in this car, which has treated you pretty well?
Yeah, I feel like the car tomorrow should treat me pretty well. I feel like I'm pretty good at that car. Um, I feel like in general, like I should be like faster in that car than like the Gen 4 because there's a little more power. So yeah, definitely feel pretty excited to run that in a couple weeks.
Gonna be a lot of fun seeing the 29 car rolling around, especially in that COT at Bristol. Gonna be ripping it all over the place there in Thunder Valley. Before we let you go, and obviously let you debrief with some of the drivers in the community, before we let you go, if there's anyone shot and say thank you to the floor is yours. A phenomenal drive tonight, hardest charger in the race here at Daytona from 43rd to lowest position all the way up to second place at the finish. Jose, take it away.
Yep, definitely want to shout out Sean Peleg. He races Moon Car. He's my goat. Also want to shout out Evan Locke. He mowed down Bram McKissick earlier under caution. That was pretty funny. He also took out my competition, so no complaints about that. And yeah, thanks for the fans.
Fantastic job for Jose Solis Jr. P2 here in Daytona. He'll try to go and grab the first one of the season for him next week in Fontana. Jose, congratulations.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, I do not believe we're going to be able to talk to a race winner of Colin Keister. Unfortunately, we'll see if we can catch up to him before next week's race in California. But we did get a good talk to some of our podium finishers there. Jose, ever the blase driver, number 29. Happy Jose. He's got that nickname for a reason, and it's not just for him driving the number 29 car, but an outstanding job for him nonetheless. We're glad you could join us for tonight's broadcast here from Daytona. As we mentioned before, we've got more coming up here. That's on the right side of your screen right now. HTL Cup Series tomorrow night, 8:15 p.m. from Homestead Miami Speedway. We'll stay in Florida up until Saturday as well. We'll be there for the RX High Octane Series in Homestead as well. And then we'll go coast to coast from Florida to California for the Winstel Cup Series race in Auto Club Speedway. Fontana, California plays home once again to Winstel next Sunday, 7:45 p.m. All three of those broadcasts right here on Twitch for ABN Studios. Not bad for everyone here for Winstel, the Winstel Cup Series, all of his partners, and everyone here at ABN Studios. I'm Carmen Sienna. Thank you all so much for starting your Winstel Cup Series season with us here on ABN. Join us as we get the HTL Cup Series one race closer to its finale tomorrow night at 8:15 from Homestead. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you in 24 hours. So long, everybody.